Suicide Squad is a 2016 DC film that's set in their cinematic universe. And I say it like that because, I mean, it's not really right to say DCEU anymore, is it? I mean, what are they even calling themselves anymore? As we have Justice League coming out in just a matter of weeks, I had originally decided that I wanted to do a kind of small series where I caught up with the DCEU. I've already done Man of Steel, and I've already done Batman vs. Superman, which I will have the links to in the description down below once I'm done with the video. And now my last one before we get to see Justice League, because I've already done Wonder Woman, is this, Suicide Squad. In the film, a secret government organization that's led by Amanda Waller recruits imprisoned supervillains to execute dangerous Black Ops missions and save the world from a very powerful and terrible threat in exchange for reduced sentences. Margot Robbie plays Harley Quinn, the infamous lady love of the Joker that was originally created for Batman the Animated Series, and I really enjoyed her performance in this. She's fucking insane, but you could just feel that small bit of humanity that's still inside of her, so it didn't feel like she went a little too unrealistic with it. Will Smith plays Deadshot, and he's probably the most lethal assassin in the world, or at least in this universe. And he's probably the best character in the entire movie, and he's given a lot of, or actually a great bit of characterization, with the only other character getting that much would be Harley. There's actually a scene early on that's very emotionally integral to his character that involves another DC property character, and you really feel for him. You even sympathize with his situation, and honestly, I probably wouldn't be praising the character as much if it weren't for Will Smith and his outstanding performance. Jared Leto plays this rendition of the Joker, and unlike the majority of people these days, I actually enjoyed his performance. I enjoyed that he was the best parts of Nicholson and Ledger, their Jokers, with his own little things added. And I really liked his design with his clothes and even his tattoos. At first, I didn't like it during the marketing campaign, but it actually grew on me during the film. Sadly, though, he's not in the film very much. He's in there for a very small amount, so not enough time to really get invested. Jai Courtney as Captain Boomerang is actually good in this. Like, I actually enjoyed his performance, and he made me laugh a fair amount. I mean, it was so nice. I didn't actually imagine myself strangling him for once. As for the rest of the characters, like Katana and Killer Croc and Diablo? Yeah, I think that's it. I really don't remember. But most of them play their roles just fine, or even pretty good, but we aren't given much characterization for any of them. There's a lot of exposition in the first 20 to 25 minutes, where instead of giving each Suicide Squad member adequate characterization by showing us enough of their life, we have somebody telling a large room of people about each member, though we all know it's really the film telling the audience, okay, here's what you need to know. The film was obviously rushing to get to the fighting. I will also say that I think Killer Croc is the one character that gets almost nothing. Viola Davis, or should I say the most recent Academy Award winner, Viola Davis, plays Amanda Waller, and she's so much fun to watch. You could just tell that Davis enjoyed playing an asshole, a sociopath who would just kill anyone or ruin anybody's life just so that she achieves her goals. Also, this is considered a spoiler since it's not really shown in the marketing, and if you want to see the film, I will go ahead and say just stop right here and go watch the movie first before you finish up this review. But other than that, I'm going to go into it because we don't really get to see in the marketing who the villain is. So, final warning, spoilers after this next transition. So, the villain is the Enchantress. She's an ancient witch type of character, and here's an idea, Warner Brothers. Maybe don't make your villain look like a fucking member of the Suicide Squad in the marketing in the first place. I mean, first you fucked up with Batman vs. Superman by putting Doomsday and Wonder Woman in there and basically showing that Batman and Superman weren't gonna fight for really that long. And now you fucked up with Suicide Squad. And she's not even really a villain. She just picks some random guy off the street, turns him into her brother, Incubus, and then just lets him run rampant across the city, just destroying a bunch of shit. Meanwhile, she's just standing and walking around in the same place, just casting spells, all while doing this weird, stupid spell, fucking hip arm dancing. Also, Cara Delevingne portrays her, and if you've seen my Pan or my Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets review, you'll know that I fucking hate her. She is one of the worst, if not the absolute worst, paid actresses in Hollywood today, and I would actually say that she's the worst actress ever. But I'm not gonna go further on it because if I keep talking about that stupid bitch, I'm just gonna scream at the top of my lungs. Now let's move on to everything else other than the performances, because, oh, this is gonna be fun for me. I am gonna get angry just talking about this. While the first act is spent focusing on characters and the creation of the Suicide Squad, which, in hindsight, isn't too bad. They just should have done it a different way. The last two acts take place in a city that is being destroyed, excuse me, by the main villains, and it's nothing but kind of cool action sequences followed by another, and then after you realize that there's nothing really much fun of it, especially since they're fighting against some throwaway zombie creature things, you just stop caring. Oh, and of course, there's a couple of, like, conversational pieces in between some of the fighting, but it really doesn't matter. I originally saw this film on opening day, and I went with an old roommate, and this was before I met my fiancée Mallory, and before she inspired me to start the channel, and to really, do research into film critique, and what to look out for. And doing the editing for my channel, I've gotten a bit of an eye for spotting good and bad editing in films. I'm not there yet, I'm not like a savant, but I do pretty well. And Suicide Squad has some of the worst editing I've ever seen. What's worse is that even on opening day, again, I had no idea about anything having to do with editing. It still felt like a lot of shit was cut from the film. Even I noticed even I noticed the horrible editing. And like I said, it felt like a lot of shit was cut out of the film, and I'm pretty sure that's why the Joker isn't in the movie that much. And actually there was a rumor for the longest time that the Joker was going to be the villain, which actually sounds better. There's also a ton of scenes, just a shit ton, that you can tell are from reshoots. For the majority of the last two acts, it just seemed like there were a lot of scenes that were, I don't know, either cut out or just tacked on during reshoots, because a lot of them just don't make sense. A lot of these edits don't make sense. A lot of the scenes just don't feel right. You can feel the studio interference on it. And the visuals are another story. For the year 2016, this was the worst visuals I had seen in a big budget film. And the worst part was the Enchantress herself. You remember how when I was talking about how she was sort of dancing throughout the film? Yeah, I'm pretty sure everything but her face was just computer generated. It looked god-awful. In the end, the only thing that saves Suicide Squad from itself, really, is the majority of the acting and some of the characterization for the main members of the Suicide Squad, particularly, for Margot Robbie's character, Harley Quinn, and then Will Smith's Deadshot, and then, of course, on top of that, Jared Leto. Everything else, though, is just a nice, big, steaming pile of shit. I'm going to give Suicide Squad one reel. I hate this movie, actually. I fucking hate it. Well, that'll do it for me. Please subscribe if you haven't already for more reviews and content. There's always more to come. And, as always, thank you so much for watching, and farewell until the next video. Bye.